Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing the warmest and, in my opinion, most appealing version of the Patek Philippe retrograde perpetual calendar 5496P. This is the -014 in platinum. The original model, also in platinum, about at Basel 2011. But if anything, it was a bit anodyne, cold, with a platinum case and a silver dial. It perhaps didn't express the warmth and humanity that you expect from a family-owned watchmaker. The timepiece you see here, which bowed in 2014, rectified all of those shortcomings, thanks to a dial Patek Philippe describes as honey brown, rich and sweet as honey. It's the perfect complement to the white tones of the case, with a few well-chosen supplementary colors to really make the dial pop. 39.5 millimeters. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you'll find that even on a smaller wrist, perhaps as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, this watch will wear well and comfortably. Given the complexity within, it's fairly slim at 11.3 millimeters with a conical bezel profile. It'll slide underneath any cuff. And from lug to lug, it's reasonably constrained at only 47.8 millimeters across the wrist. It's an excellent complicated match for smaller forearms, as well as a viable unisex option. 21 millimeters means it has a broad and contemporary lug spacing, so that's the size if you want to target an OEM or aftermarket replacement strap. You will note that there is a top Wesselton diamond between the lugs at 6 o'clock. That's the aperture right in the center of the three, 2 pushers and 1 diamond, as the diamond between the lugs has, since the late 20th century, been a signature of Patek Philippe platinum timepieces. The case band is simple in profile and flows seamlessly via these somewhat vintage-inspired tapered and rounded lug ends into a light brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather strap with a monotone stitch, folded edges, and on the underside, calfskin. You will note a Patek Philippe platinum folding clasp, polished internally, beautifully finished externally, with a filigree-style Calatrava Cross buckle. It offers a nice counterweight to the watch underneath, so if you like to wear your watch loose, it's always good to have a heavy bracelet or a substantial clasp to act almost as the keel to a sailboat to prevent the watch from moving around if you wear it loosely. Thanks to that clasp, this watch has precisely that. The case band. Elegant, relatively slim, one strong character line that runs lug to lug across the lug hoods between the junction with the bezel and then exiting out the opposite flank. All of high polish, it appears appropriate in a relatively slim case of traditional size, and you will note that this is a pusher adjuster system with various pushers flanking the case band, allowing you to adjust the perpetual calendar system. You will note in that the crown is set relatively low on the case flank that this is a modular complication with the 324 base and then the perpetual calendar retrograde on the top. The dial. It is the pièce de résistance of the non-movement side of this watch. Honey brown. What does that mean in practice? Well, it means the dominant tone is gold. It's a gold metallic dial. Let's give ourselves a bit more light here. It's a gold metallic dial with a strong sunburst grain radiating out from the center. You will note there's a dimple style, minutes and seconds track outboard, and it is a center second perpetual calendar. White gold indices, dart style applied. As you will note, diamond polished and faceted for a jewel-like glitter and twinkle. The same application on the faceted and bifurcated profiles of the Dauphine-style hour and minute hand at center, white gold Lancet-style counterweighted second hand. There is a retrograde with a splash of red about its index. After the 31st, it jumps back to the 1st. Polished white gold apertures for the day as well as the month. Leap year phase without aperture as a minimalist expression of the leap year cycle at 12 o'clock. A slight sunken profile with a polished dimple intermediate track. That is, you see all the odd days of the month, but each of the evens is represented by a polished metallic dimple. And then you could see a aperture for a 122-year moon phase in traditional crescent style at 6 o'clock, the 122-year nomenclature referring to the correction interval. Chances are you'll never have to do so. It is a very dark navy blue. It's not a black night sky, so along with the red shock of the retrograde indicator, it's one of the supplementary colors of the dial. It's a beautifully balanced dial and distinct from almost every other Patek Philippe calendar. The timepiece is a little bit idiosyncratic, but then again, these retrograde Patek Perpetuals have always been the kind of complication that sells to, one might say, a horological auteur, or a maverick even. So this one's all about the movement. You have the perpetual calendar retrograde on one side and caliber 324 on the opposite side. In-house caliber, naturally, this is the 324S, and it is of course a QP, so it's an alphanumeric relating to center seconds and quantième perpetual perpetual calendar. Automatic winding, 35 to 45 hour power reserve, unidirectional winding for efficiency, ceramic rotor bearings to compound the efficiency as well as reduce maintenance requirements. It's adjusted in a chronometer busting 6 positions. Chronometers generally adjusted in 5. It features a silicon Spiromax anti-magnetic hairspring and a traditional Patek Philippe Gyromax free-sprung architecture for ease of adjustment and durability in the face of bumps and concussion. You do have a lack of hacking seconds inherent in the system, which some have cited as a fault, but I have to make a confession. Most folks are able to hack the seconds on their Patek 324s because all you have to do is withdraw the crown and apply a small amount of back pressure, and you can bring that seconds hand to a halt. So for example, if I wanted to stop this watch, I could easily do so by applying a little bit of back pressure. And I can halt that seconds hand as much as I want for as long as I want. You can even stall the movement, effectively hacking the caliber. Little known fact with the 324s and not often enough acknowledged. Beautifully executed, the Patek Philippe seal counts twice towards this watch's virtuosity. Finishing virtuosity, as you can see, the mirrored anglage at the edge of every bridge, as well as jewel countersink and screw sink, black polished screw heads, linear Cote de Genève laid down with an abrasive wheel, not stamped, perlage on the base plate, micro spiral perlage at the center of the rotor, and circular Cote de Genève across the winding mass. But because it is a Patek Philippe seal watch, meaning it features the interlocking double P rather than the Geneva hallmark, Patek attests as to its accuracy, citing the 24-hour precision as no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per day. Beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. An absolutely gorgeous movement for an absolutely gorgeous watch. The dial brings this one to life. The case is sensational. The movement is a work of art, but it's the dial that makes this one. Do you have a taste for honey gold? Find out and savor the flavor on the watch box.